The right to education is a basic human right. You'd assume that most of the world's population has the bare minimum of education, right? But you'd be shocked at how wrong that is. Did you know that approximately 750 million people worldwide are still illiterate as of 2025? On top of that, not everyone has equal opportunities to get quality education. UN's SDG 4, or the Fourth Sustainable Development Goal, is about solving exactly those issues. But before I continue, I'd like to greet the judges. Assalamu alaikum. And let's continue now. It's the main goal of the SDG 4 is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Education is extremely important and necessary to shape lives, and the UN predicts that without additional measures, by 2030, 84 million children will be out of school, 300 million students will lack basic literacy, and only 1 in 6 countries will achieve the universal secondary school completion target. There are multiple reasons for this. Let's begin with addressing them. Poverty is one of the major challenges in achieving quality education. Many families are unable to afford to send their children to school, college, or universities. Many adults are unable to afford quality technical, vocational, or tertiary education for employment. There's other obstacles in achieving proper education like gender inequality, wars and displacement, lack of infrastructure or resources, lack of access to technology, etc. Immediate actions need to be taken to address these issues and get rid of illiteracy once and for all. Now let's quickly have a discussion on what can be done to prevent the aforementioned obstacles. Poverty is present everywhere. Even first world countries are not excluded from poverty. So, poverty affects citizens of every nation. Poverty is a much bigger issue which needs a lot more effort to solve, but the most efficient action to take here is to make sure even people facing poverty can access education. Education needs to be made more affordable, and awareness needs to be spread within parents on how important education is. Governments also need to focus more on trying to make education more affordable, and we must all come together to help the government do that. We need to not only pay our taxes properly, but also make sure that they're used correctly. The next issue mentioned is gender inequality. The best way to solve that is by spreading awareness and making people understand the concept of gender equality better. Institutions also need to prioritize being inclusive, and they must strictly monitor cases of gender inequality. In the case of wars and displacement, refugees need to be treated better by the government and given the education that the government gives to its ordinary citizens. And if the government can't do that, at the very least, they need to find ways or offer ways to travel to a country where the refugees can get the help that this particular government can't provide. Infrastructure issues or lack of resources ties back to poverty, but a good solution is to use resources more efficiently and effectively. Efficiency should be a part of what's taught in schools as well, so that students can maximize their learning through whatever they have. The issue of digital divide needs to be addressed by making sure that every individual has the minimal access to technology needed for education. These problems regarding education are all over the globe, and we must work together to solve this. By now, you must be wondering, what actions can we take to contribute to this? It's not just the government's and the UN's responsibility to ensure education. We must help as much as we can as well. We need to spread awareness, donate as much as we can, educate ourselves further in terms of how to help with this, and most of all, cooperate with the initiatives taken by authorities and institutions aimed at solving the worldwide education crisis. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for listening.